Hello, my name is Alice-Lyle Hickson. For the first few years of my life, I know I went to church, but I don't remember a lot of that since I was so young. My parents got divorced when I was 6, and many things changed. Church was definitely not in the forefront. My mom was just trying to survive from her broken heart. My dad had an affair and left my mom for the other woman, who is now my stepmom. I spent years going back and forth between my mom and my dad and this new woman who I didn't particularly like. You won't believe this, but on many occasions, my mom would put my brother and me on a Greyhound bus in Charlotte that went to Statesville, an hour away, where my dad was. I remember being so scared and confused at the same time. For many years, we went to church very infrequently, but that was fine with me because I knew I didn't like going. I do remember going to church in Old Hickory, Tennessee with my grandparents when we visited. My grandmother sang in the choir, and I would sit next to my papa, and he would give me certs mints throughout the service. My first heartbreak was when he died. I was 14. He was so important to me, and I literally didn't know how life would go on without him, but it did. I got saved in high school, but looking back, I know I didn't understand what that truly meant. I went to college and made really poor decisions. I was on academic probation my first semester, got in an unhealthy relationship, and got very drunk every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. I was extremely shy, and alcohol made me more outgoing, which I thought made people like me more. I had a pretty low self-esteem, and I was putting my worth in having a boyfriend who, by the way, cheated on me, and I felt like I needed to drink to be liked. I did end up transferring to a college in Charlotte so I could get away from the partying and live with my mom. I knew I needed more stability in my life. I still didn't really go to church much, though. My husband, Stan, and I got married in 1997, and truly by the grace of God and lots of forgiveness, we are still married and still like each other most of the time. We will celebrate 27 years of marriage on November 8th. We have 3 children. Davis is 23, Julia is 21, and William is forever 8 and safe in the arms of Jesus. You may remember Julia. She was an intern here this past summer. Davis lives in Charlotte with my mom. Let me tell you a little bit about William. He was diagnosed with mitochondrial disease in 2007 when he was just over a year old. He was 100% total care for all of his 8 years. He was tube fed, had seizures, was floppy as a newborn baby, had many surgeries and procedures, and was in a wheelchair. He needed everything from us, yet what he gave to us was the most incredible blessing. It certainly was tough, exhausting, and upsetting at times, but the blessings far outweighed the heartache. Davis and Julia were completely devoted to him. William passed away on March 9th, 2015, at home in my arms, surrounded by people who loved him and who loved us. Through having William, I learned so much about trusting in God and knowing that His plan is better than mine. His way is better than my way. His timing is better than my timing. In 2017, I got baptized in our church in Abingdon, Virginia. That was a totally new experience and one I will never forget. I have had many other hardships that could have torn our family apart. But by knowing God and who He is and whose I am, I have been able to get through those storms. I truly feel that God has equipped me with perseverance, resilience, and patience to get me through life's trials. I try to remember to ask myself, what would Jesus want me to do in this situation, which always seems to calm me down when I'm upset? And every single day, I mess up and need to ask for forgiveness. But knowing that He is always with me, no matter what, gives me great comfort. In the almost 27 years that Stan and I have been married, we have moved 10 times, so we have attended many different churches. SouthCrest is the first church that I've been to that I do not want to miss a Sunday. I serve with Crest Kids, which I love so much. Both serving and attending church gives me so much joy. We have all been chosen by God. We have all been created by God in His image. God loves us. God forgives us. You are a dearly loved child of God. Every single one of us. How amazing is that? If God can walk with me through my pain, He can and will certainly do the same for each of you. Putting my full trust in God is the best decision I've ever made. If you are not a follower of Jesus, I ask that you consider what it could look like for you in your life. If you are a follower of Christ, maybe it's time to recommit. Wherever you are in your walk with Him, you are seen and loved. I have 2 verses that I hope will encourage you today. The first is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. It doesn't say some things, it says all things. The second is Ephesians 3:19. May you experience the love of Christ, though it is too great to understand fully. Then you will be made complete with all the fullness of life and power that comes from God. Remember, God is always with you and for you. I am a child of God and deeply loved, and so are each of you. Thank you.